Breaking news, my country people. As the matter dey be like this, so wahala don tie wrapper o. Obi Atiku reveals how they will change INEC's declaration, putting an end to Tinubu's ambition. Guys, this is happening. The two presidential candidates, that is the People's Democratic Party and the Labour Party, Alhaji Atiku Abubakar and Peter Obi, respectively, during the week, they gave a fresh vow to invalidate through the court process the electoral victory of Senator Bola Ahmed Tinubu of the All Progressive Congress in the last February 25th, 2023 presidential election, and truncate his life ambition to rule Nigeria. Although the two presidential candidates, they are working separately in the court of law to achieve the objective, but they have also individually invited the Presidential Election Petition Court to declare them winners of the February 25th presidential election. Or in the other alternative, they have declared that INEC should order a fresh election. And yes, the results that brought about Senator Bola Ahmed Tinubu being the president-elect of this country was announced on March 1st, where Tinubu pulled about 8 million votes to emerge victorious. Atiku, who came second, pulled about 6 million votes, while Obi scored 6 million votes. Rabiu Kwankwaso of the NNPP came fourth, but aggrieved by the poll results, about 5 political parties and their presidential candidates, they approached the registry of the Presidential Election Petition Court to challenge the election outcome. Under the electoral law, political parties and their candidates have within 21 days of INEC announcing the results to file their petition at the registry of the appeal court. However, the aggrieved parties who met the deadline include the People's Democratic Party and its presidential candidate Atiku Abubakar, and the Labour Party with its candidate Peter Obi. The rest are the Action People's Party, the Aligned People's Movement, and the Action Alliance. The president of the Court of Appeal, Justice Monica, who is for Plateau State, had set up a 5-member panel of the court to hear all the petitions challenging Tinubu's victory in the last presidential election. However, the Presidential Election Petition Tribunal, which began sitting last Monday, had the following as members: Justice Haruna Tassimini as chairman, also Justice Stephen Jonah, also Justice Yusuf, and others. But then, the chairman of the Presidential Election Petition Tribunal, Justice Tassimini, who is also the presiding justice of Abuja Court of Appeal, urged lawyers representing all the petitioners to avoid sensational comments, stressing that the court would not tolerate time-wasting tactics and technicalities. Guys, this is really serious, But then, the other parties, they withdrew their petition, leaving only 2 aggrieved political parties, which is the PDP and the Labour Party. The parties that withdrew their petitions were the APP, the Action People's Party, also the Action Alliance, and the APM. But as they be like this, the petitioners are seriously praying for the tribunal to declare that Tinubu was not duly elected by a majority of the lawful votes cast at the election. They even want an order mandating INEC to retrieve the certificate of return issued to Senator Bola Ahmed Tinubu and to issue a fresh one to them, which is the case of Atiku against Tinubu. Because Atiku Abubakar, in his petition, is inviting the tribunal to invalidate Tinubu's election on the grounds of non-compliance with the provisions of the Electoral Act 2022 in conducting the poll. In that case, Atiku have stood on his ground that for Tinubu to be declared winner, Tinubu must have scored at least 25% of votes cast in the Federal Capital Territory. But then, The failure of Tinubu to meet the said constitutional requirements invalidated his elections. And as they be like this so, Atiku is also invoking the margin of lead principle to assert that INEC's hasty announcement of Tinubu as the winner of the presidential poll is unconstitutional and without due process. So many Nigerians really talked about this, that the INEC chairman, Mahmood Yakubu, he just declared Tinubu the winner all of a sudden. Meanwhile, at some polling centers, results are still, going on. They are still collecting results. When the INEC chairman, Mahmood Yakubu, went to the INEC results collation center at the wee hours of Wednesday morning and declared Tinubu the president. So this principle states that when the margin of the lead between the winner and the runner-up is less than the total number of votes affected by cancellations in their different polling units, then the election is declared inconclusive and a rerun is organized. We can't begin talk for Peter Obi case against Tinubu. Peter Obi don't write for his own petition, don't us say Tinubu failed to win the majority of the lawful votes cast in the election, just as he could not secure 1/4 of the lawful votes cast in the Federal Capital Territory, Abuja. So Peter Obi don't us say Tinubu was not duly elected by a majority of the lawful votes cast at the time of the election. Besides, Peter Obi also argued that both Tinubu and his running mates were not even qualified to stand the election in the first place. In Peter Obi's petition, he mentioned the fact that Tinubu was fined about $460,000 for an offense involving dishonesty, namely narcotics trafficking, imposed by the United States District Court. And then Tinubu and his running mate Kashim Shettima. Kashim Shettima was the APC candidate for the Borno Central Senatorial District, and at the same time, he was the vice presidential candidate for the presidential election. So that issue also disqualified Kashim Shettima. So as they be like this, so the Labour Party candidate Peter Obi have urged the courts that is either they declare him as the president-elect or they should cancel the elections. They should nullify the entire election and they should order a fresh election. Besides, they have urged the court to hold that Tinubu, as at the time of the election, was not even qualified to contest. So as they be like this way, Peter Obi and Atiku Abubakar, they have made it known that they will not let this matter go. Peter Obi have urged the courts to invalidate Tinubu's victory due to his failure to win 1/4 of the lawful votes cast in the FCT. Also, Peter Obi have urged the courts to declare Tinubu and Kashim Shettima, disqualified to contest the February 25th presidential election. So as they be like this, so my country people, these two presidential candidates, they are not going to let this matter die down easily. On the side of Bola Tinubu, he is currently defending his mandate in court. So guys, what are your thoughts concerning this? I'm dropping here. Kindly share your thoughts in the comment section. Thank you. Bye for now.